All right, so why use the Remarkable Pro Move? I don't really want to get into the build quality because it's great and that's really all there is to know. It feels amazing and yeah, overall it's hefty. It feels very premium. Unfortunately, there is no IP, so weather sealing is out the door, so you have to be very careful with it. There's only one button and that's the power button to turn it on and off, and there's one port and that is for USB-C charging. I'm going to show you some of the tools that you can actually use with this while we go through this video, so you can kind of play along and see all the things that you can do, or all the things that I do anyway. I love the AI text tools because you can do your handwriting and then you can turn that into text very easily by just circling it and then clicking the AI button. It turns it into text. Very easy and works great. You can also search your handwritten notes by keywords. Like if I wanted to say my wife's name, I could just write it in there and it would populate and tell me all of the notes that I have with her name in it. Very, very helpful whenever you're trying to stay organized. The Smart Erase is really cool because you can just circle something and delete it if you need to, or you can circle something and copy it, paste it somewhere else, or you can draw a line above a certain amount of text and then actually pull everything down below that text to give you some move. One thing that really annoys me is the fact that the eraser itself only erases in one size. However, if you use the Stylus, this is the eraser, very small. Stylus, you can choose your size. And I just don't understand why it wouldn't work for the actual eraser itself. The Remarkable app is great. You can view all the stuff that's actually on your device. If you do want to connect to the internet and make this more of an internet-friendly device, definitely recommend getting the app because it's nice to just type and then you can manipulate with inside the actual device itself. And I found that to be very, 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 very useful. The note-taking is so great because of the size of this. The size is perfect in my opinion if you're somebody that likes to write in notebooks. This is very close to notebook size. There's others out there that claim to be that size, but this one in my opinion is really great. It can fit in some pockets, but most of the times it fits in my camera bag that I usually carry, and I have a few more sling bags that I just toss this into because I'm always wanting to take notes. I have ideas that just pop up very quickly, and I would prefer just to hop in here and write them down rather than bringing my phone out. And speaking of phones, staying away from your phone is great with this because if you just take this out, I think you'll find yourself to be a lot more productive and more creative because limitation breeds creativity, and I do believe that very much so. And this device is definitely in that circle of things where there is a lot of limitations, so you don't have notifications and apps and all this stuff that's distracting you. You can actually just concentrate on this and yourself, and I find that to be extremely an important concept. It has a ton of templates, and I've found that other e-ink tablets do not. Unfortunately, this has a ton of them though, so you can really create just about anything you want based off the templates that they give you. Personally, I use the to-do list all the time, and I also use lined paper just like I would for any other notebooks that I typically would use. Drawing is very impressive on this. If you're good at drawing, I can imagine it being 10 times better, but it just works really well, and the colors are great to have. The colors on this are a lot more vibrant than on my Books tablet, and I'll show you a side-by-side right here, but it's just really impressive how good they are. If you actually import pictures to this, for some reason they look better on the Books tablet than this, but the actual colors of you drawing look a lot better on this. I'm not sure how that works, but it does work. I would definitely recommend getting the Marker Plus if you get this because it comes with the eraser. It's hefty, the magnets work really well, and it feels like it's gonna last a long time. I also love how they decided to actually put the nibs in so you don't have to actually peel them out with a piece of metal and then stick another one in. You can just drop it in the box to replace it, and it's super, super simple, and I just love that nice premium touch that they put with this Pro Pen. You can import documents to this, and you can also have access to your OneDrive, Google Drive, Slack, and Dropbox. However, I found that whenever you are using Google Drive, you actually have to download them to the Remarkable Move in order to manipulate them, which kind of sucks in my opinion, because I want to be able to view the files there and then be able to work on them from that way instead of having to have all those files brought in. You can bring them in file by file, not all at once, but it is kind of a hindrance. So I actually deleted my Google Drive from the Move, unfortunately. A few problems I have with it is the no IP, no weather sealing, there's no Bluetooth, and a lot of times I would like to just have my keyboard attached to this so I could type up really quickly instead of having to use the app, because I love to type, especially on a mechanical keyboard, but unfortunately they just don't have Bluetooth on this. If I had to guess, the second iteration is gonna have IP, Bluetooth, and of course, fingerprint on the power button, because this one does not, unfortunately, and you have to type in your passcode every time. Obviously, you could take your passcode off, and I find that to be a lack of security, and I don't really love the thought of this laying around and somebody grabbing it and going it through my personal journals. So just typing in the pin is what I'm doing now, unfortunately. The front light works well if you're in a dark room. It is not very bright compared to other e-ink tablets out there. This is just, it gets by. And I think that's a good thing if you're in a dark room and you're trying to keep it easy on your eyes, but at the same time, I feel like it could be a lot brighter. There's a way to actually turn the brightness up even further, but even then it's just not that bright compared to the other ones that I've used in the past. The battery life is not going to last 2 weeks, although that's what they claim. I usually get a week out of it, sometimes even less if I'm really using it. I mean, if I'm doing a lot of drawing. I think it takes a lot of processing for this thing to get all of these colors in and fixed, because the more colors you put in, the slower it goes. And that's probably what really drains the battery on this thing. If you're writing, this is seamless, of course, but once you start bringing in colors, I think it gets a little complicated. And obviously it's a newer technology and they're gonna figure out how to fix those things. For now, it is a pretty slow process and it does drain the battery quite a bit. The last thing that really bothers me is the longevity of this type of device, because there is so much important information that you're gonna have in here at some point. And I think it's smartest to make sure you back up things, because otherwise you're gonna lose your journals, or in 30 years, if you have something like this, it could potentially just stop working, which it more than likely will. You'll have to buy another one of these, the updated one. And what if they go out of business? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered for me that would make me feel a lot better about having this for personal things like journals and my drawings and things that I will potentially lose at some point due to the fact that I'm either gonna have to pay for a subscription, and if they go out of business, where's all my stuff at? Are they gonna send it to me? I just don't know. That's one of the weirdest questions about it, and it makes me a little off. But that's the biggest downfall, in my opinion, is your personal thoughts just vanishing. Yeah, I don't know. So it goes back to locking all of your journals up and coming back in 30 years and be able to look at them. But with this, you won't be able to do that, I don't believe, because the battery's only going to last so long and eventually it's going to kill out. You'll have to buy a new one, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think you should buy something like this if you want a distraction-free environment and a portable notebook that works so well, and you just want to stay on top of your task and just get away from everything. So you don't have to use the internet and you can stay away from your phone. With this premium design and the writing experience, it's just amazing. And I think if that sounds like something that you would want, this would probably be a great device for you. And yes, it's expensive, but I thought I was gonna have buyer's remorse because it was so expensive. But then I just didn't, and I was fine with it, and I am fine with it, and I just really love this device. I would not buy it if you want access to a lot of things on the internet. Apps, for instance, Kindle, which I use on my Books Air 4C, and I think that's definitely a whole different genre, and you should definitely lean into that area. And if you want to save money and your budget's a little bit smaller, I would just get something a little bit less expensive and not go the Remarkable route, because they are so expensive, and there's a ton more options out there that you can find, and you can even get some on Facebook Marketplace that are used from a different company. If you want to get into the e-ink tablet scene and you want to just dive into all of that, I think that would be great for the people that need those things or don't have the budget for something like this. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful. I love this thing, and it's just been really great for my mind and for me to escape a lot of the bullshit that we deal with as humans in 2026. This is my 4-month review of the Remarkable Move Pro. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.